Hi guys, so we're back to day 2 of online learning. So hopefully everyone have managed to watch the video yesterday, and then I do receive responses from you guys, and I'm glad that everyone managed to answer the question in the exit ticket correctly. So well done. So today we're gonna discuss about the syllabus. So I'm gonna tell you what are the things that we will be learning, and also what are the things that you need for the subject. Okay, so now if you see here, there is biological approach, cognitive approach, learning approach, social approach. So what does this mean is, in psychology there's different approaches. So in a way, macam you can say there's different section lah. There's different section in psychology. We have biological, cognitive. There's actually much more than this. There's crime approach, criminology, sports psychology, apa lagi? Health psychology. So there's actually more approaches than this. But in our syllabus, we are only studying these four approaches. But these four approaches are actually the major approaches in psychology. Okay, so ada 4 approaches that we will be learning. I will discuss each approaches in the next slide. Okay, so first approach is biological approach. Now from the word itself, biological, it's to do with our biology. Okay, when you're studying biology, you're studying about our body, what goes inside our body, what's inside our brain, the chemical inside our brain. So same thing, biological approach focuses, or it looks at physiological aspects of human. For example, our brain lah, our nerve system, and how this affects our behavior, thought patterns, and emotional responses. So basically, our behavior can be controlled by our brain, our blood, our genetic, all the things that we are born with. Okay, so that goes under biological. So people who study biological psychology suggested that our behavior it's somewhat controlled by our genetic. Okay, for example macam you see, like there are some people yang andang naturally intelligent or naturally clever kan, and then you would say, oh, the person andangnya tu, it's in their genetic, it's in their family lah. So it's actually true, because there are some behavior that we have ato, it's because of the things that are inside of us, our biology, our genetic ato. Okay, so biological approach talks about that lah. And then if you see the second bullet point, this approach sees human as a complicated machine. So obviously, if you think that computer or laptops, TV ka, any electronics ato is complicated, our body is way more complicated. Okay, there's a lot of things going on inside our body, our blood. Banyak. There's, I think, only our creator knows, our creator, which is Allah or God. Only Allah know what's going on inside of us. Okay, so this approach looks at human as a complicated machine. We have a lot of biological processes such as hormone or brain activity governing our behavior. So this approach, again, like I said today, it says that our behavior is controlled by our hormone release or brain activity. Okay, so when we go into the topic nanti, you will get an idea benar-benar clearly how this approach is about. Okay, right, now syllabus content for this approach, these are the topics that we will be studying per approaches. So ani is the research under biological approach. So andangnya, for every approach, you will be looking at 3 topics or 3 core study. We call them core study. Okay, so these studies ini are basically research studies lah. Different topics, again, is looking at different area of behavior. So if you see the first one there, Canley, it talks about emotion, and then we have demand and Kleitman. So we will do demand and Kleitman first ni. So demand and Kleitman is about eye movement during sleep and how does it relate to dreaming activity. Okay, so apparently just teaser of what this study is about. Demand and Kleitman believe that your eye movement, you know how when you sleep your eye actually is moving under the eyelid ato. So those eye movement actually relates to our dreams. Okay, so it's an interesting study, but we will look at that nanti lah. And then there's last one there, Shakta and Singa. Shakta and Singa again is about emotion. How does our emotion affect our behavior? So that goes under biological approaches. Okay, and then next approaches is cognitive. Cognitive refers to the mind, the mental processes. So whatever goes on inside our brain, the processes. Okay, for example, thinking, solving problem, perceiving, making sense of an understanding of the world, language, remembering and forgetting. So all of these processes in it, like thinking, understanding of the world, language, memory, apa to, all those are considered as mental processes. It's the processes that goes on inside your brain. So how you think to obviously will affects your behavior. So cognitive approach will be studying everything pasal the processes inside your mind. Okay? Now, what are the core studies under cognitive? So we have Andrade. So Andrade is about doodling. If you, I'm not sure if you know the word doodling means. Doodling means it's when you doodle. Doodle means when you tend to apa to, like scribble on paper or like apa tu, lukis-lukis arah paper to. It's called doodling. Okay. So according to this study, apparently, if you're bored, right? If you're bored and you cannot focus, when you doodle, kadang-kadang you doodle, right? During lesson, you lukis-lukis. Apparently, when you do that, it helps you to focus more. Okay? So sometimes like kadang-kadang when you doodle and then your teacher saw you and then they'll be like, "Oh, why are you doodling in class? Are you distracted like that?" But then actually a study shows that it's the opposite. Somehow when you doodle, you tend to focus more by listening to the lecture more, apparently. Okay? So we will again look into that nanti. And then there's Baron Cohen. Baron Cohen, it's a study about autistic individual. And then there's Lani et al. Lani et al. Asparagus, a love story. Healthier eating could be a false memory away. Another interesting studies. It's about false memory. I don't know if everyone knows what false memory means. False memory is basically you remembering something that never happened. For example, I say that kemarin I did my laundry. Tapi benarnya it's not true. I didn't do it, but I think that I did it. Okay? So that is an example of a false memory. We often have false memory all the time. Like for example, kalau you ilang barang, right? When your barang suddenly macam misplaced, and then you're like, oh, I think I put it inside my bag. But then actually you never put it inside your bag. But you keep on telling yourself that you just put it inside your bag. Okay? That is another example of false memory. So this study is basically studying about how people form false memory and how does false memory affects our behavior. In this case, eating lah. How false memory affects healthy eating. Okay? Alright. The next one, learning approach. Okay, this is the third approach. So basically, from the word itself, it's an approach that looks at how human and animal learn. So they want to know macam human and animal learn behavior. So ada tiga. there's 3 ways on how people learn behavior: learning by consequences, learning through association, learning through observation, imitation, and modeling. So at this point, I don't want to go too deep into this. I don't want to explain it in detail because nanti when we go into the study, I will explain more. Okay? So as of now, I just want you to know that this approach looks at how human being and animal lens. Okay? Alright, now syllabus again ada 3. So first one is Bandura. Bandura is about imitation of aggressive model. So basically they have kids as participant, children. So children ini basically you akan lihatkan aggressive model like punching a bobo doll. It's like punching a doll. And then they want to see if these children actually observe and then actually imitate that behavior afterward. Okay, so that's why it says here imitation of aggressive model. They want to know if children is capable of learning by observing and then imitating that behavior. Okay, next one, Saavedra. Saavedra is a case study. It's about phobia. So this child, it's again participantnya, it's a child. This child has a phobia of buttons. It's button yang butang It's the real thing butang. So this boy, if I'm not mistaken, age of 5, developed a phobia of buttons after he accidentally um, fell down on a buttons, like a ball of buttons ito, tegugur atas kepala niya during art class. So from there, he developed phobia of button. So this study is basically talking about how this boy developed that phobia, macam mana ia kena cure, macam mana ia kena bagi treatments. So all of that goes under that studies lah. And then the third one, Pepperberg. Pepperberg is a study to do with animal. Ia punya participants is an African grey parrot. So this parrot, obviously, I think most parrots they can actually talk. But it's something that is unique because people think that macam language ni, language is only for human. Only human yang pandai bercakap. That's what we often think lah. So animal are often said to not know how to produce language. But the thing is some parrot actually can talk and they are very clever. Okay. So this studies again looks at macam mana this parrot learn languages. Okay. Alright. Now next one, last one is the social approach. Social approach is basically how we interact with one another. Looks at issues that surround human interaction and human relationship. It's how people behave when they are with other people. Okay, so this approach basically looking at our socializing behavior lah. Macam mana tani socialize with other people, how do we respond to other people. So this is social approach. Okay, the study ada 3 again. Milgram is about obedience. So basically this is all of the social approach punya study are actually very interesting. So first one, Milgram obedience, is basically asking someone, the participant was asked to electrocute a human being. Like this person was strapped to an electric chair, and then the participant, they were asked to administer that shock to the person. So they want to see if the participant actually obey the instruction or tidak. Okay? Because when you electrocute someone, if you bagi karan arah orang kan, that's a cruel action, right? So they want to see if this participant actually obey the instruction to hurt someone ataupun tidak. Okay? So it's an interesting study. You might want to have a read on it. You can just Google it, Saja, if you feel that you want to look into it. And then there's Piliavin. Piliavin is about Good Samaritism, an underground phenomenon. It's a journal of personality and social psychology. So this is basically it's about helping behavior. So they have a model who pretended to collapse inside a subway train ito, and they want to see how many people actually help this model, okay? Because apparently it was suggested that makin ramai orang present in the area ito, the less likely people were to help, okay? So macam for example kan, macam if someone like we imagine like in our class there's 33 student, right, and then suddenly one person ani pengsan, okay, pengsan. So I as a researcher I want to see berapa orang actually help this person, because previous studies suggested that kalau ramai orang at that class, the less likely people were to help. But kalau sikit macam seorang saja dalam ato, the more likely that person would help the other person. Okay? So why does that happen? Nanti when we go into the study, we will look into that. Okay? Yang pentingnya, Piliavin is about helping behavior. And then the last one, we have Yamamoto. Yamamoto, again, is another animal studies. It's chimpanzee. Chimpanzee, again, it's to do with helping apparently apparently animal, not just chimpanzee, they are capable of helping one another. So this study is looking at how this animal, specifically in this case chimpanzee, how do they offer help to another chimpanzee. Okay? Alright, so I want you to count berapa banyak topik ni that we have here. How many core studies that we will be studying for this year. Count it because I will ask you are the exit ticket. Okay? Um, okay. Moving on to A2 punya syllabus lagi. Alright, so next year A2, it's totally different topics. We have more topics yang theory lah. We will be studying theories, a lot of theories. So the theories are there's 4 choices that we have: psychology and health, psychology and organization, psychology and abnormality, psychology and consumer behavior. But every tutor we only have to pick 2 saja. So that dua probably highly likely I'm gonna pick psychology and abnormality, which is to do with mental disorder, and then psychology and consumer behavior. Consumer behavior it's about macam more into business lah, which I want to go through that also. So that's next year. I don't want to go into it. I just want to tell you that ada 2 options saja, which is consumer behavior and abnormality. So next year baru I'll explain about this, okay? Okay, let's talk about exam. So you might want to sit for October, November this year for the AS syllabus. Okay, so I did 2 paper. Let's talk about paper 1 first. Paper 1, it's 1 hour 30 minutes. It's about approaches, issues, and debate. So yang 12 topics tadi itu yang I explained, it will be asked in paper 1. Okay, it contains short answer. There's multiple choice in it. It's actually just the first year saja, which is batas sudah. After that, they dismiss the multiple choice question. So nada lagi multiple choice. So it's just short answer, and extended response question itu is essay. Okay, and the paper will not have any section. Yes, it's 60 marks altogether. Short answer and essay. 1 hour 30 minutes. Okay. And then paper 2, sama juga, 1 hour 30 minutes. But this is about research method. So research method ini, it's the topic that we will learn first. So after I go through this, we will go into research method dulu. Lepas research method, baru tak I will teach you that 12 topics tadi itu. Okay? So paper 2 is all about research method, 1 hour 30 minutes. There's section A, B, and C. Short answer question, section A. Section B sama juga, short answer scenario based question. And then section C baru tak essay, which is divided into 2 parts. Okay. If you see the last bullet point there, it examines how well candidates can use and apply their knowledge on research method. Okay. So that's why research method, knowing and learning research method is very important, because they dedicated one paper just for research methods saja, and it's 60 marks. Okay, so I'm gonna emphasize on research method a lot throughout this year. Okay. Alright, now moving on to the things that you needed. So syllabus habis sudah tu ah. That's the syllabus that we will go through. Textbook, we don't have textbook at the moment because baru change syllabus. So we tutor, we compile it ourselves. We have original article and research method booklet. So it should be bought from the tutor. Now the price here, belum lagi, it's not final price ah. It's just my estimation saja. But usually every year it's less than $10 lah. Okay. Again, handout booklets. Copy have to be bought from the tutor. Okay, because handout booklet ani initially I wanted to give it to you, but I will give you an option whether you want to print it yourself or you want me to print it, photocopy dulu for you, and then you just pay me. But this handout booklet, it's still TBC. I think at the moment I just want you to buy the original article and research method booklet. But this one, tunggulah the school opens for physical learning, then we will talk about that again. As of now, we just rely on online slides saja, okay? Yeah. And then the things that you need besides textbook atau one big ring file for the handouts. I need yang pasar yang tabal, because you can use it for 2 years. At least you can use it for AS and then terus on for A2. Okay, it's all just in one file saja. So one big ring file, one exercise book which is for classwork and homework. This is A4 size So just one. It doesn't have to be terlampau tabal. Just the normal one saja, exercise book. Okay, because I don't like people pakai Fullscape atau, because sometimes they they lose the paper, they didn't put it in their file, and then after that their work hilang. So I rather it to be all in one book. Okay, and also it's easier for me to mark juga. And then one marker, not a permanent one, it's whiteboard punya marker. This is because sometimes in class I would ask you to write the answer on the board, and then because now we have COVID, right? Usually I just lend my marker to the student, but then now with COVID, macam imagine if I ask all of you to write on the board and then you guys keep on using the same pen karang, it might affect one another, right? So to be safe, just buy one marker, whiteboard marker lah. Okay, so nanti if I ask you to write down the answer on the board, you can use your own marker. Okay, and then wipes or any cleaning supplies, anything lah. Wet tissue kah saja, and hand sanitizer, because I think kalau wet tissue it's easy because you can wipe the table, because you don't know siapa yang sit on that table before you. Okay, so macam kalau hand sanitizer, it's just for your hand, right? But at least kalau wipes itu, you can wipe the table, because you'll be sitting there for 50 minutes and then you don't know before that siapa yang duduk arah di sana. So better to have, for your safety, wet tissue lah. And then when you come in, just lap meja tu dulu. Okay? And then there's 3 there. It's not expensive, the last 3 ito, but it's very difficult to do. Commitment, determinism, consistency. So commitment, you have to commit to your study, focus on your study, don't get distracted. um, it's easy to get distracted, very very easy to get distracted in A level. But A level, I'm telling you, it's not like O level. O level, you study last minute, still okay. A level, you study last minute, there's no way you can get a good grade. Okay, so that's why you have to commit all the time. Just go into class every day thinking that okay, I need to do my best. Okay, every single day, Misty, commit to it. Okay, and then determinism means that you need to be determined to do your best. Macam okay, I need to get an A. Misty 3 A's ni, I can get 3 A's, like that. Mesti ada that motivation every day to do your best, to achieve best in A level. I really want everyone to get good grades. I really want everyone to go to university because that's the aim of going to sixth form. We want to go to university. So I want to see that. I want to see you achieve your goal. Go to university, do your degree, like fly ka overseas, just reach out for that dream. But mesti ada that willness, okay? And then consistency. So this is, again, it's very difficult to achieve. Be consistent. Like for example, you get an A sudah in first assessment. Try to get another A the next one. Keep it consistent. Keep that effort consistent from time to time. Jangan macam sudah A and then habis tu main-main saja and then turun your markah. So try to keep the effort consistent from time to time. Okay? Okay, that's all that you need for psychology. So if you feel that you're not sure of what are the things that I mentioned here, you can always text me up. Okay? And then lastly, keep calm and study psychology. Okay? So just um, don't pressure yourself. It's a new subject. You never did it in A level. In O level, sorry. You never do this subject in O level. So take it easy. Don't macam baru jua 2 days sudah just stress. Macam apa kan ni? Hindi ko paham. So don't stress out about it. It's obviously you don't get it now 100% because it's a new subject and you're not really sure of some words. It's fine. Okay? It's fine at this moment. It will be clear from time to time. After this, slowly, you will get it. Okay? Alright, so that's it for today. Again, the same thing. Don't forget to fill in the exit ticket. And I will again upload another video on Wednesday. Okay? Thank you guys.